episode 10.
Ooh, episode 10.
Episode 10. And we got, for our 10th, I guess you could call it like a decade episode. No, but we got Justin with honeygrow. I'm not going to put your last name out there. But we got Justin with honeygrow, longtime sponsor, longtime friend. Finally got him on the podcast, tracked him down. Here with Sam Orpizza.
CEO and founder of honeygrow,
Yes. Yes.
What's up?
So I want to jump right into it, me personally. Where did this idea of honeygrow come from? How did you get it started?
Yeah, so quick story. I'm originally from Long Island, New York. Moved to Philadelphia 2004, so 21 years ago.
Justin, can you hold it just a little bit closer? Yeah.
Hear me now? So originally from New York, moved to Philly 2004. First job was in real estate with Mike McDermott, actually. It was my second job at that point. And my passion's always been, I wanted to scale something, wanted to build something. It's always been food. I used to weigh 240, not like a good 240, I'm going to fight you 240, like I'll get slaughtered 240, and needed to lose some weight and went up going plant-based for a while. Was making salads, making stir fries for lunch. While in the real estate world, I saw sales information for different concepts, notably like Chick-fil-A, Salad Works, and even Apple and some other concepts. I'm like, if these guys are doing great numbers compared to other people, why is that? Thought about the uniqueness of the concept of freshly made noodles, tossing some vegetables, salad, etc. And then can I take this and scale it around the country? And that's how it started. And honeygrow is a plan where it's honest eating, growing local, because everything's freshly made to order.
So I want more detail than that. How did you start an LLC? Did you get a loan? Like how did honeygrow become its brand?
So started an LLC, for legal stuff, whatever. And then I had no money. I mean, I was making some money in my life. I was making maybe $50,000 a year. But that pays the rent and that pays for food. And I was going to school at night at Temple. So it was like, I had no money to spare. And this is 2009. Wound up writing a business plan, which a lot of guys who are entrepreneurs are always like, hey, how do I get started? Write it down. Write down your ideas. No math. That's important. A lot of guys, they just don't understand math. And my advice to budding entrepreneurs is, dude, take accounting 101. Just take it. Because you start learning cash flow is tied to this, and this is projecting that. And you start forecasting. So wrote a business plan. I learned how to do it at Temple, my MBA. And wound up hitting the street. I didn't know anybody in Philly. I just said, all right, I'm going to network like crazy, which is totally out of my comfort zone. And wound up just talking to anyone with a pulse. So I would go to events and be like, hey, I got this idea. Be like, all right, cool, let's meet. I'd meet with people. And this is where I feel like my story is similar to yours in many different ways, but one of the similar ways. But it's that anyone, especially in your position as a fighter, anyone would tell you you shouldn't do that. The odds of you being where you are now are highly improbable, right? And it's the same thing when you're starting a business. It's why bother? Because you're going to see what's up against you. And any normal human being, a sane person, would be like, fuck that, I'm not going to do that. Whereas we're nuts, the three of us. And it takes that craziness to really kind of push through. It took me about 2-3 years, pitched 94 people with my plan. 94th guy named David Robkin, partners with Steven Starr. Loved the idea. He's like, Steven's a genius. He creates 40 concepts. What are you looking to do? And I'm like, I'm looking to do one. That's it. And he's like, great, you could scale that. And then we brought on another guy, Brooke Lenfest, and the three of us with the original partners of honeygrow, and that's how it started. This is 2011.
So obviously you had gotten in front of 94 people. What was your connection in getting in front of those 94 people? Who were those connections and how did you get to those?
Yeah, so that's actually, no one's ever asked me that question. Good job. Never. So I literally, I would go to networking events and just hey, what's up? And kind of meet with you. And I would angle it in the sense of, hey, I'm trying to start a business. I know you're a marketing person. I'd love some marketing advice. I'll meet you in Jersey. And I would pitch them. And then I would talk, hey, do you know anyone who's interested in investing? Maybe yes. Yeah, I have a friend I play tennis with. Sure. What really helped, I joined the Philadelphia Chamber of Commerce. And there's 4 or 5 women who are working there who love the idea. And they're like, yeah, we want to help make intros. This is before LinkedIn had the inbound messaging stuff. So I'm like, I'll highlight 10 people out of the 2,000 members a night, and can you make intros? So it was a numbers game. So I just kept meeting people. I would wear a suit to work, and everyone's like, this dude's interviewing. I'm like, nah. And I just would I'd do my job, head down. I'd walk out at lunchtime, meet up with people after work, typically it was, kid, this is the stupidest idea of the ever, or we thought this was a tech company. I'm like, it's not a tech company. We're using tech for the ordering. No, this is not Facebook. I'm not interested because Facebook IPO'd around that time. And yeah, I mean, it's just, you know what it's like. It's humbling, right? Like, you just got to keep pushing.
Yeah, 93 no's for one yes.
Yeah.
That gets you started, gets you your first.
But they weren't 93 no thank yous. They were definitely, like, I'm sure like 50% of them were, like you said, this is the stupidest idea. This guy over here wants to make noodles. Like, get away from me, kid.
My favorite was I met with these two marketing guys, and I met with one first who's very nice. Then I met with a partner, and they just shit on me for like a half an hour. It was like this is dumb. Like, why would you do this? And then they actually had a jar of marshmallow fluff and put it on the table. Like, this is all fluff, but we can teach you how to not make it fluff. And then they put their book on the table. They wrote a book.
my God.
Read the book. Come back, work with us. We'll help you get there. And I was like, so like, this is like at the I was the lowest of low like point. I'm like, do I keep fucking trying? Like, do I keep pushing? And honestly, I came home. I threw out the fucking marshmallow fluff. I threw out the book. And sat there and was just like, my wife's like, you gotta keep going. I was like, all right, let's keep doing it. And about 4 or 5 months later is when I met David. And I was like, all right, this is real. This is holy shit. So it was 3 years of trying to get a yes, to get people to help fund this idea. And no one was gonna leave me alone. You just had to push.
And Front Street was your first location, correct?
No, the Center City 16th Street in 16th and like between Chestnut and Walnut.
Is that where we typically meet?
Yeah, we've been there before.
Yeah, we've been there, I think, 2 or 3 times.
2 or 3 times, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you went there once when I was at the other one.
Yes.
Yes.
So obviously you had reached a point where it was like, oh man, do I keep going?
Right.
When you look back now and you obviously got the yes, what is your advice for someone who's trying to do the same thing with obviously a different business? What kept you going?
I am scared to death of living a life of mediocrity. Period. I am scared to death of being older and looking back and being like, I didn't do shit. And I can't live that way. And I'm like, like Churchill said, if you find yourself through hell, keep going. I'm just gonna keep going. Like, that was it.
So would you find yourself saying that it was kind of an unexplainable? Is that a feeling that you only felt about this idea, or is this a feeling that you've always felt since you were a kid? Because for my experience, I feel like it was deep-rooted from being a child. I always believed, my saying was, I'm not meant to be average or live the average life. And that's what I thought was the unspoken, and that, I guess, fire, anger, hunger, whatever you want to describe it as, that was what kept me staying in my sport and me to keep pushing through the arm race, through all the things that obviously my career has been. Would you say that that feeling for you of not living mediocrity was deeper rooted than just the idea of honeygrow?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I'm sure if you untangle all the crap and put it out there, I'm insane. You know, I grew up, again, in New York. My mom was a teacher in Long Island. My dad had a small business in Brooklyn. I don't come from money. And there were times when my dad's business almost went out. So
What was your dad's business?
it was it's so hard to explain it, but it was a steel drum business. So like steel barrels. My dad would buy them, recondition, paint them, and then sell them to like the parks department, like chemical companies in Jersey. So as a kid, I used to load trucks for my dad in Brooklyn, do deliveries, and sometimes business was good, sometimes it was bad. I never felt when it was bad, but I sensed it. And I'm just like, I want stability in my life. I'm just also really intensely wired for whatever reason and hyper competitive. And I don't know, I got fucked around a little bit as a kid from other people and just made me, I don't know, tougher in a good way. But I don't know, I just had this panic attack feeling of like, I don't want to live a life of mediocrity. I want to look back on my life and be happy. And it's important.
And I feel like nowadays, like, it is like almost like societal, where being like, they push that on you to like be completely normal. You know what I mean? And it is like, for me, right? Like, some men lead lives of quiet desperation, and it's always been the driving force with going for something big and not being afraid to fail in front of people, that I've always enjoyed. So, Justin, it's amazing what you have done, and it's really cool to be able to sit down and talk to you about it, because I was with my wife the other day, and I came back from honeygrow, and I'm like, we're going to interview Justin. And I'm like, but his what you do, it's so scalable, and I'm like, it could be so busy in there, and it's like you can constantly pump orders out. Like, so can you talk us through that? Like, lunch demand, right? I say if you want to learn pressure, go make hoagies at Wawa.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
At lunchtime.
Yeah.
Like, and all of your workers are very polite. They are very friendly, and it is like was finding that process, like what was finding that process to where it's like, dude, we can pump this out so many orders and, you know, be able to handle that lunch run.
Yeah. I mean, first and foremost, you learn this when you scale an organization, you need good people and good process, and good people create good process. And thank God we have some really good leaders in the four walls of those restaurants. I used to run the restaurants. So I was the GM of 16th Street, of Bala. I mean, I'd be up every morning, opening the place up. I ran it for the first 2 years. So I was the guy in the restaurant. So I knew, like, and I learned, like, really no restaurant experience. I had my ass kicked. We almost went out of business in the early days, but just kind of kept pushing, kept going. You kind of figure it out as you go, or at least I did, and you refine it. And quite frankly, you find smarter people along the way to make it better and better and better. I mean, my team today, from execs down to GMs, are phenomenal, thank God. And you know, we call them top performers and low performers. If you're a low performer, it's like there's either you can move up and elevate, or this isn't for you. Because first thing I do in the morning, I look at two things. I look at our customer reviews and look at our sales. And those two are absolutely intertwined. So for me, it's like, hey, like this one restaurant's getting 2-star reviews on Google. What's going on? And you dive in, you can check it out. That's a reflection on me. Like, as a hyper intense human, like I hate when our customers don't have great experiences. We don't bat 1,000, but it's important that we try. So.
And has technology been a big part of that as well too?
Yeah.
I feel like your business integrates, like, I don't mind using the touch. I actually prefer using the touch screen when I go to honeygrow for some reason. And anywhere else, it would, like, really annoys me.
Why is that?
I think it's because, and it's funny, I was talking to my wife about this, where it's like the ingredients that you want to put in there, it's like, it just makes sense to me. It's like you have so many options of putting the right stuff in there. And again, like, I can't be drawn. I'm always drawn back to this one conversation I had at this natural food store, which was like, would have been like a Whole Foods, but it was in my neighborhood growing up. And they tried putting food in there. And they were like, people want fast food, but they want healthy food.
Right.
And you really are like one of the only locations that actually offers healthy food fast, which I love.
Appreciate that. Yeah, I mean, the key thing I think about honeygrow is the noodles are really good.
Dude, they're amazing. Like, I never thought about that either.
Dude, I when I opened up, we didn't have good noodles, and I wound up going to New York a month after we opened, and went to all my favorite ramen spots. I'm sitting there, I'm just like, hey, like, where do you guys get your noodles from? And nobody wanted to tell me.
But post-workout, it is, like, me and Joey, like, every Saturday we come in here.
If I'm not cutting weight every Saturday, we
have
get
honeygrow.
honeygrow, yeah.
It's kind of part of our ritual. Like, we train and then we go to honeygrow and then we come here.
Thank you. Yeah, I mean, I didn't want to be another grain bowl concept. That shit's boring. But like, if you get the whole wheat noodles, they're freshly made. They're made by it's a Japanese family-run company. 7 grams of protein, 17 grams of fiber. Like, it really is good. I have high blood sugar, so I eat the whole wheat noodles, and it has zero effect on me. It's awesome. So, but you also want it to taste good. That's what's important. Like, you don't want to be like eating healthy food often. It's like, oh fuck, it's an obligation. Like, I can't even imagine like your life training, like the stuff you have to like portion and everything else. Like, I want people to come in and be like, this is great. I want to come back. It's delicious and fulfilling. That for me is important. And I'm a food guy. Like, I dropped weight, but you know, I easily, like, if I flipped a switch, dude, I'm going to eat like 10,000 calories in a day. Like,
yeah, well, honeygrow is very, very, very tasty compared to what I eat normally.
Appreciate that.
So it's obviously a treat for me.
Yeah.
It's not something, obviously, I can put into my diet plan necessarily, but yeah, I mean, it's of all, when you got Chick-fil-A that has fucking 100 ingredients in a Chick-fil-A sandwich, it's dog shit. It's terrible. When you have, you know, Burger King and McDonald's, and you have Wendy's, and then you have, I wouldn't even go as far as to say like Qdoba or whatever. It's just the food's sitting out. It's just, I don't know. I'm not a fan of it. And I remember the first time I went to a honeygrow was the one that was in, I think, Manayunk, because I was working at the...
Oh, no, Bala, because you were at the
Bala,
LA Fitness.
yeah, Bala Kenwood.
Yeah.
I was working at LA Fitness, and I remember I went there, and I was like, man, this shit's bougie. Like,
Probably was running it back then. What year was that?
That was, I was what, 19? No, I would have been 20. So 8 years ago, 9 years ago.
So 2017-ish?
Yeah,
2016?
yeah.
That was
So
when
I
went
was,
for
and I was a
funny.
broke kid, and I remember I was like, man, this is like super bougie for me.
that. Yeah.
That was like him going to Morimoto. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it was like me going to
love
Del
Morimoto.
Frisco's or something. It was definitely no joke.
Dude, you know what place actually surprised me?
What?
You're going to make fun of me for this.
Nah.
Chili's. Hear me out. Chili's is doing this whole comeback, like turnaround thing.
Yeah.
And they've really done a really good job. So I was in Avon, Ohio, looking at a site. I'm like starving. I'm like, all right, like, I just need to eat something. And I popped into a Chili's, like zero expectation. Dude, like to your point about like Morimoto, it was like the coolest place in fucking Avon, Ohio. It was like 12 o'clock on a Thursday. People drinking martinis at the bar. Like everyone's, I'm like, all right, I got greeted. My food was good. Like they're doing a pretty good job. I was impressed.
Yeah, it's not much. Like, and I'm a big customer service person, so
Yeah.
like even if I get that experience where people were friendly to me,
They were so friendly, dude.
I'm coming back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And if you mess up, like, hey, you know what? I can't tell you times when I ran the restaurants, if we fucked up, like, I don't know. I remember once some guy didn't get chicken in his stir fry and he freaked out. I'm like, I got it, no problem. You know, it's on. I'm taking care of the whole thing. Like, guy came back next day with like all of his lawyer friends. Like, that just was a 10x return. Like, thank you.
So I have a real estate question for you.
Yeah.
So like, what are you buying the pad sites and then you yourself are developing them? Do you have a development team that you work with? I
Yeah.
was kind of curious how that all, you know what I mean?
So we don't buy, but if the opportunity came out, we would do it.
Okay.
We're typically leasing from bigger landlords. Landlord will give us an existing site. We work out a deal with Landlord Work and TI. We'll come in. We'll do the development, the development of the site, or a pad site opportunity could arise where we build out the whole thing. We get a TI check for that. Plymouth Meeting is a good example of that. So. it
And
just
I've been to
depends.
that one. I have, yeah.
Yeah, it just depends on the situation. And in our space is super competitive now. Like everyone wants 2,500 square feet, end cap location, and we're competing with fast food, fast casual, you name it. And it's a hyper competitive market right now. So, driving the rents up. That's my point.
Yeah. Do you want to talk about how all three of us know each other now?
Yeah, I want to get into that. I had one more question. I forgot what it was. Oh, yeah. So how many stores do you have now?
Yes.
And how many are opening soon? Because I know you had, I think, like you said, I think it was 22 when I met you.
We met, it was around 22, and we have 54 today, and we'll have about 70, 72 by the end of this year. Just head down and banging them out.
How far have you gone now? Like, what's the furthest location from Philadelphia now?
Ohio. So we're in
Wow.
Cleveland, we're in like Southeast Akron, Canton, Ohio, and we are Virginia.
Yeah, and I tell people this all the time, like, you're going to be bigger than Starbucks. I can't wait until...
I think that's impossible. Thank you. Appreciate that. Starbucks is at 35.
Hey,
30,
listen, I don't know. The
locations.
way the country's going, I'll tell you this. I boycott Starbucks anymore because
I just like the iced
I'm going to just leave it at that.
That's
I boycott Starbucks. Too
Really?
much sugar, too much shit. Coffee tastes burnt.
I like Starbucks.
The people are very rude sometimes.
Are they?
To me,
You know what? Which Starbucks are you going to?
it was during COVID.
In all fairness.
Yeah,
I
you
went to
know.
one today. It was very good for what it's
I had a
worth.
giant lady tell me something very
Really?
not nice. Yeah, because I wouldn't wear
imagine.
I wouldn't wear the mask.
You walking with no mask?
Yeah, I mean, this was towards the end of it, and you're not supposed to, like, you were allowed to walk around without it.
And you haven't been back to Starbucks since then?
No.
You don't need a mask anymore. It's okay.
No, I've been in it.
Yeah.
That's how I met these guys, the Maltepes brothers, and not even the brothers, just Matt. Matt's the only one.
All right,
And
that's
Alex.
fair.
But I met him and his father there. So yeah, but I don't like going to.
Starbucks, for what it's worth, they're going through a turnaround right now. I don't know how many locations. Company's worth probably $100 billion, give or take, on the day. I mean, it's unbelievable.
It's just crazy to me of how much like bad shit is in branch chain like franchises. Like it's insane. Like you're putting dyes and you're putting an obscene amount of sugar that causes diabetes and people to have all these health conditions, and it's just
You know, man, I hate ultra processed stuff. I mean, really, as I've gotten older, I feel it. And like you guys, you're a different stratosphere of trade.
But it's even hard for me. Like I go to a grocery store, it's very hard to find something that's clean.
Yeah.
You know, so
I mean, for me, I eat a lot of nuts, fruit, vegetables. My carbs are coming from honeygrow. I feel good about that. I'll have some steak, but it's going to be like a quality steak. Like I don't want to buy some like shit. Like you want
a
something that's gonna
store.
yeah, like it's just because as I've gotten older, especially when I'm training, I feel it. And I'm going against young guys, and I get my butt kicked a lot, but I also like can kick some butt too. And you want to feel good. You just don't want to feel like shit. Yeah.
I got one more question, and
Yeah.
we'll move on to, obviously, you said about doing jiu-jitsu, so
Yeah.
you do jiu-jitsu. But how do you feel as far as like the social world? Like when you talk about reviews, I know that's one of the
Yeah.
first things that you look at. Do you feel as though reviews really reflect what your business is doing and how well it's doing? Or is it more like you got a bunch of fucking crybabies out there, to be honest, and if they don't like something because they didn't get their way, they go on and leave you a bad review? How do you are you able to sift through like the ones that matter versus the ones that don't?
That's a great question. So I think at the end of the day, people in 2025, if they're going to go to a restaurant, if they're going to go to a jiu-jitsu gym, they're going to Google it. And if the Google review comes back at 3.8 for a restaurant or jiu-jitsu gym, you're probably not going to go there, right? And so I'll speak for the restaurant business at least. Like we really make sure, and then we just done a recent initiative to make sure that A, we're executing, and B, we're following up on the execution. So in other words, like serve you a stir fry, making sure our team's going out to you, hey, how is everything? Make sure the hospitality is real. We're also giving out cards like, hey, like if you don't mind, can you give us a good review? Because those reviews generate more sales. And we did a test in one of our restaurants, and we started giving out these cards, and like not intrusive in your face, like, hey, like if you don't mind, GMs are very nice about it. And the folks that give the positive reviews, like, so two things happen. One, the sales go up. Three things. Two, the morale for the restaurant goes up. So everyone's really more excited. They're happy about it. So that you're going to get better service. And then with the better service, three, the tips go up for the team. So they're just, it's like a win cycle. You have to sift through the noise. Like we had a review this morning. I saw it definitely was an ex-employee. It was like an essay of why this place is horrible and the manager and the time. It was just like, okay, let's look into it. Fine. But like, you know, that's on there. You have to kind of sift through it. If you see repeated things like, hey, missing sauce, missing stir fry, missing this, like, well, what's the problem? Okay, that's probably legitimate. So you got to use that as a gauge, especially on 54 location. I can't be everywhere. Okay, hey, man, what's going on with this one location? Let's check it out. You pop in there at 7 o'clock on a Thursday night. And if it sucks, like, all right, those reviews are accurate. Cool. We got to fix that. So
I do have to compliment the Fishtown one.
that's a good one. Michelle's awesome, yeah.
I remember I got to tell you this. I had a salad there the one time, and I'm eating through the salad, and I'm like, I'm pretty sure I asked for chicken. And I look at my receipt, and I'm like, I did. And I was like, hey, I asked for chicken, and you guys didn't put it in here? And the person's like, I'm like, can you just put it in the bowl, and I can just finish eating it? And the person took the bowl out of my hand. He's like, why didn't you say something earlier? And then he brought the whole other salad out, which I'm like, I just wanted you to just put the chicken in the bowl that I already had. But I mean, I will say the customer service and the way you guys correct an issue is awesome, man. It's refreshing as a customer too.
I appreciate it. I mean, for me as a CEO and founder, it's like I want to be treated like that. And sometimes I'll go in the restaurants and like they don't know who I am until like I order, and like I'll know right away if it's good or not. Like I'll be like, all right, within 5 seconds, like it's going to be. I was in one of our restaurants that I popped in there. It was like a Wednesday or Thursday night, and I didn't get greeted. It was in a different state than Pennsylvania. Didn't get greeted. My food was okay. The vibe wasn't great, and they realized who I was, and then things got like perked up. And then probably in a week or two, that manager was fired. Like it just you got to be in your A game. You got to be in the field. Like I was talking with my son about it before. It's like in the military, you could be the general who's sitting in Washington D.C. just calling the shots, or you could be the general who's out in the field and seeing what's going on and getting information from the teams. Like I'd rather be that guy because I don't fucking know everything. But my team's in the field. Like you can get a good gauge what's going on.
Yeah, obviously. I mean, that's you were doing the hard labor work yourself for a long time. Yeah, no, I love it. And you're also not somebody that, when I met you, which we'll go into now, when I met you, I had no idea what you did.
Yeah.
I just thought you were a guy that was training jiu-jitsu. I didn't think anything of it or whatnot. And obviously it didn't change anything despite what you do. But you're kind of a low-key CEO. You're not a very Instagram, social media popular. Despite how big honeygrow is, you're not very.
I'm not interested in being famous. I'm interested in building a great company and having happiness in my life. So, like when you mentioned social before, like I hate social media. Like I think it's like in our generation, it's toxic. It's hard. Like you get addicted to it. You're looking at shit. mean, especially in your life, dude, like, you know, you got to be in social as a human because it's your brand. You are the brand. Like, I'm not the brand. I can let the brand be the brand. And you got to navigate the good and the bad, which is tough.
Well, I think there's only one way to do it. I don't think you can navigate good and bad. I think you can just choose what you want to see.
Yeah.
And what you want to see is either the good and you'll react to it, or it's going to be the bad and you react to it. And I think I used to react to the bad.
Yeah, I remember that, yeah.
Even though I got a bunch of positive, you know, all the way up until my first main event that I lost. And then that's when I was like, all right, I gotta mature here and like not give a fuck what anybody has to say, because ultimately I didn't care when I was trying to get to the UFC.
Yeah.
I didn't care who said what. Now all of a sudden I care because there's so many people saying, you know, fucked up things that it's just kind of, it makes me tune it out. So now I'm only like,
Become that much stronger. I remember having this conversation with you 5 years ago too.
yeah, I was mad.
I'm like, dude, it was before that, before everything. I think you were about to do, or no, it's when you broke your arms, 2020, end of 2020, or being in 21.
I think I remember telling you a lot of people stopped talking to me.
Yeah, this is the craziest thing to me. I remember like you had the fight, you broke your arm. I remember like texting at night, I'm like, I don't expect this guy to get back to me. I can't fucking imagine what he's going through mentally right now, and let alone physically. You got back to me. I was like, oh, like, oh man, like, but like, I remember you told me that, like, yeah, people like drop me, they're not fucking talking. I'm like, really? Like for that? Like you're gonna come back like nasty, and you did. I was at your comeback fight, which was brutal. That I forgot the dude's name, but you just knocked him out. Yeah, you just knocked him out cold. I was there with
the arm that he broke.
It was, dude, I had chills. And then you gave like this insane, like, quick speech. I was with Dez from Balance, who's now running his own place. We sat there like in shock, like, holy shit. It was fucking, I think Rick was in your corner that night, too.
He was.
Awesome.
It was supposed to be my new coach, John Marquez, and Sean Brady. And that was when COVID was still going on.
That's right,
he was in contact with a guy, Eddie Torres, who had COVID.
Yep.
So they took him out of the corner, and I told Rick to step up, or asked Rick to step up.
Rick
and
was
he did.
there. Yeah, it was awesome,
Yeah.
dude. That was an amazing fight.
So we'll get into
Yeah.
that. So let's go, how you tell your version of how we met
Yeah.
and where.
Okay, so you must have been training since 5:30 in the morning that day, because I think you guys were together. And I remember, like, I knew of you. Like, I was training probably for a year at Balance, 2018, but we met beginning of 2020, right before COVID. It was like a week before COVID. And I remember you guys just going at it. And I'm just like, and I think I met you already. And, like, we had coffee and we were hanging out. And, like, I just remember, like, oh, that's Joe Pfeiffer. Like, that's the fucking guy. Like, I remember, like, watching. And then, like, you stuck around for, like, the class. And the class really was, I think it was open mat. And, like, you and I were talking for a bit and we rolled. And, like, for me, like, rolling with you is like, you were like a lion playing with its meat. Like, dude, it was just like, that's me. You're like fucking around. Like, it wasn't fun for me. I was just like, it wasn't fun for you. You're just like whatever. And I just like, I remember thinking like, this guy's the real deal, because you just you feel it right away when you roll with certain people. And we just started talking and hanging out. I mean, just literally a conversation for about an hour. And I didn't say anything what I do or whatever. And I think it came out later, but I just was very impressed with you as a human. And we talked about it. Like, I don't really sponsor anyone. I just like, all right, you know what you're doing. I see this guy skyrocketing. He's his shit together. Like, this guy is going to be a champion. And here you are, man.
Yeah, it was definitely good timing, because like I had said, we'd had those conversations.
Yeah.
You know, people dropped me. You got to see me training for it. Even after the COVID shutdown, I would come in. We would try to get in and get work. I had my best friend at the time who had no MMA experience. You know, he was just wrestling me, and I would hit pads with him and try to, you know, I was really trying to make it with what I had.
Yeah.
And there was no MMA classes, things like that. So it's like, you know, you being a longtime sponsor, it's cool to see that you got to see, you know, I only had a couple pieces to the puzzle and still was able to, you know, get my shot. Obviously, I came up short the first time, but came back, and you know, then we fast forward, you're sponsoring, and then you're one of the few sponsors that stuck with me despite my loss, and despite, like, you know, you knew what I was putting into it. So the fact that you got to see the comeback and be there before that, and then, you know, here today, and I'm 5 fights going on my 6th in the UFC. It's a cool story.
I'm a long-term believer, and more so, you're my friend. So like, I just genuinely believed your trajectory. I was just like, all right, this guy is gonna fucking kill it. And in life, success is like this, but as long as you're going that way. So like, when I saw your fight in 2020, and the fucking craziest arm thing ever. But like, all right, well, that's a setback. But he's gonna be pissed. I remember thinking, like, he's gonna be pissed. And like, we met for lunch, and you were like telling me about the surgeries and everything. And I'm like, he's gonna kill somebody. I'm thinking to myself, like, he's gonna murder somebody.
Yeah.
I mean, I usually say before your fights, like, you're gonna murder this guy or like whatever. Like, it just you can vibe those things sometimes, and it's been my pleasure to watch you just fucking succeed.
Yeah,
so,
man.
So, and for me, like from my point of view, knowing Joey for as long as I have, and coaching him, and it is cool. Like when you talk about the nose, was when I first started training Joey. Like my goal was to pass everything that I could pass on to Joey, and like show him how to turn his fighting career into a business, right? And get everybody who bought tickets to my fight to buy tickets to Joey's fight. And I remember telling people about Joey, and them like kind of laughing about me. Yeah, this kid's gonna be a world champion. Yeah, this kid's gonna be in the UFC one day. You know what I mean? And seeing him go on Rogan, but also, right? Like pretty amazing. Nobody knows this story about me and Joey, which I love. Was I had Joey write his story down, right? And at this point, this is like 2016. I'm switching careers, and I'm trying to do everything I can to not train Joey. Like, I'm trying to make him do, like, challenges, like, where he's like, there's no way he's going to do it, and he would do it. And I finally reached my last thing where it's like, all right, you got to write your story down. I'm like, this is where he's not going to do it. And he wrote his story down, and I read it, and I still have it, and it's incredible.
I'd love to see that,
Yeah, he wrote it, September 21st, 2016 or something like that?
You're a kid.
Yeah, and I'm like, Joe, we got to tell this story, but we also need to because the big way you get started in MMA is like you need sponsors. You need businesses that are like, I see the potential in this kid. And there are ways where Joey could help someone grow business as well, too. And in some cases, there's not, but whatever. I mean, do you remember the first spot? Like, Joey would show up like asking for $100, and they'd be like, see you later. Like, you know what I mean? But for me, seeing, like, you're the only fighter sponsored by Honeygrow, it's incredible. It really is.
I am. And I'm proud of it, too, because a lot of people are shocked when I say, I'm
Well, you're the only athlete, right?
I'm the only athlete.
Ever? I'm trying to think.
No, I think, well, you were going to sponsor Sean. That was open to Sean, and then Sean dropped the ball with contacting you. Which Sean is, another local. Like, he's the only other person
Sean's
that I would.
Amazing.
He's the only other
amazing.
person that I would campaign for at this level. Obviously he's helped me out too.
Sean's
and
an animal, yeah.
He's the general of our team. But yeah.
Regardless, to have you believe in Joey and to have your business stand by Joe, like from where it started, I mean, that was like going to Mars. It really was.
Yeah,
from where we
because when you started sponsoring me, it's not like you had a ton of. I remember our conversation. It was like, look, I'm going to sponsor you because I believe in you.
Yeah.
But
During COVID, by the way.
During COVID.
So I should add
and
that
you're
one
like,
thing.
look, like I'm not even writing checks for myself.
I wasn't.
And I remember that. And I think it was across the street from Balance when we met at that coffee shop.
La Colombe, yeah. So I remember saying to you, I'm like, hey, this is the best I could do right now, because at the time there was that possibility of almost going out of business.
Yeah.
I mean, you could say what you want about the PPP program and all that. It saved our business. It saved all the jobs. Well, not all, but like all the restaurant workers, their jobs were saved. We did do some layoffs in the office. We lost some good people, but everyone, like, I remember that COVID happened, everyone was just like, we still want to work. Like, great, we'll keep the doors open. And we didn't, this is like when you didn't know how to get, you can get COVID. Like, do you get it from someone's clothes? Like, everything was like weird. But,
don't breathe air.
Yeah, don't breathe air. Yeah. So, like, I remember you and I met up, and I was just like, this is what I could do. Like, is that cool? You're like, yeah. And I'm like, great. And that was it. I just was like, I want to help you out, and you're pushing, man. So no, it's all good.
I'm going to thank you again, just as a formality, but also beyond that, like those are the most important times that I needed the sponsorships. Yeah, and it's not just one, it's all of them. And but you're a special one because you've been on the team for a long time, and it holds a special place in my heart to have a company that's growing so big that was with me before I was anybody. So I was always somebody, and you knew that. But to the public world, I was a nobody. So the fact that you were on board with that beforehand, it's always going to have a special place with me. And obviously, it's growing, and I'm around somebody that wants to be great like I do. That's a very common fear that I have, that we have, is I don't want to grow old and look back, like even with this fight with Calvin, like, man, I let fear be the reason I fought like a bitch or I lost, or you know what I mean. That's why I fight with that intensity. And you say, oh, he's gonna kill somebody, or I want to hurt you, and I know that these memories are only so long and they're very short, and they come in very long spurts. But the window for fighting is very short, so
it's super intense for you. Yeah, I mean, like, think about it. Like, I know you, like, you're gonna want wealth, and you want wealth and a family, and you don't have to worry about this shit, and it's important, right? So you could not do this, but that's not an option anymore, right? So you got to keep going.
Yeah, it's like the road to heaven feels like hell.
That's exactly
what
right.
I mean?
It's true, man.
And the road to hell feels like heaven. It does.
How you know you're on the right road.
That's exactly right.
This has never been easy. And I actually had somebody that got mad. They had the audacity. I'm not going to mention names because I love this person. We just had a disagreement. But they said you could never do what I do. And they own a business. I told them about this. I was actually mad about it. So they said I could never do what they do or whatever. And I was like, man, you must not know the kind of person I am. Like, if you
Never say something to piss Joey off, because like post-fight interview, he'll bring it up for a podcast.
I've noticed he doesn't forget. He doesn't forget like insults.
I don't.
I noticed that because he'll bring shit up a couple of times, like from this motherfucker said this.
Yo, those things motivate me, man. You know, because sometimes they strike close to home, and I think the part that I'm an emotional dude, obviously, but I think the part is like I don't hate somebody. Like, I don't hate somebody because they said something I don't like, but I do find it offensive that. And this is why I don't like social media again, that you could take somebody's whole life's work and then just go shit on it publicly. But just because you're a bum in your fucking mom's basement and that's what you feel like doing that morning. But, you know, just going back to what I was saying about, like, you know, oh, you couldn't walk a day in my shoes type of deal. And I was like, man, I don't think you understand. Like, I will figure out a way. I've always been that person. I will figure out a way. Yeah. When I couldn't get him on board for the longest time because he had all of his own things going on, it was like you said, I was doing all the things that when you thought I was going to stop, I kept doing it. Yeah. I kept showing up. Hey, show up 5:30 in the morning. Most people aren't fucking training at 5:30 in the morning.
But there was a method to my madness, and it's like,
how bad do you want it?
How bad do you want it? But also too, like going to Balance Studios at 5:30 in the morning. The only people that are going to be in there with you are also winners, whether they want to win in jiu-jitsu or they want to win in life. But that's when winners show up.
That's a good point. Yeah, like we're all a little nuts to be showing up at 7 a.m. and it's just like it's an awesome class. It's super fun. But yeah, like I think that's the correlation, right? Like we almost went into business in 2018. I think I may have told you the story, but like
yeah, I remember.
We grew way too quickly, raised too much money, hired too many people, did some bad real estate deals, and suddenly it's like we had a bifurcation. Half the restaurants were doing great, half the restaurants were doing horrible. And that's when I started jiu-jitsu. And actually, my jiu-jitsu story was we had a restaurant in Manhattan, and I was literally in a meeting with these two PR people, and a dude walks in, no shirt on, fucking drunk, like whatever, and just starts screaming at everyone in the restaurant. He's just like, fuck you guys, fuck you bitches. The people at my table goes, fuck you motherfuckers. So everyone looks at me like, oh, what is he going to do about it? And I'm like, you know, I have no real training in anything. I'm like, listen, you gotta get the fuck out of here. The guy's like, fuck you, bitch. What are you gonna fucking do? I'm like, I'm gonna call the cops. He's like, call the fucking cops, you pussy. And I'm just like, all right. So I call the cops. Dude, cops showed up 19 minutes later. 19 minutes later. It takes a fraction of a second for people to start dying. So I remember I thought to myself two things. One, I gotta start training. And B, I gotta start having some sort of firearm, which I do. So jiu-jitsu, I started going, I was friends with Phil.
Second Amendment right, baby.
Yeah. I became friends with Phil, who's the best, and I started training with Dez.
Phil and Rick Miglerese.
Yes, correct. Two of the scariest, nicest humans you will ever meet. And Balance is like a home away from home for me. I love training there. I go to Fishtown in Center City. Great guys, great women, and all fucking motherfuckers. So started training with Dez in the morning, and that's how it started for me. I was just like, fuck, some dude comes up to me, I don't know what to do, and that was 8 years ago. So,
but that's real freedom, though. Like being able to handle yourself in a physical confrontation. Since I started training jiu-jitsu, I live a freer life because now, like, I never want it to happen, right? But now, if it shows up in front of my face, I have the confidence to be able to be like, okay, I can take care of myself and the people around me, and go on about my day afterwards.
Yeah, and you're calm. It's kind of like I rolled Tuesday night, my first time back in 5 weeks, had a procedure done. Dude, I slept so well that night. I was just, you get all your shit out. Every human being should do jiu-jitsu. Like, I really believe that. Like you know how animals play and they met, like, it's the same thing with human beings, dude.
How about that? It's so funny because that text when I sent you, like, so being a part of Joey's training camp and doing jiu-jitsu with him and like going back through everything,
Yeah.
it like it releases like that oxytocin where
Yeah,
like
it's the
I'm
best.
sending Joey these texts like, dude, I'm gonna look back on my deathbed and smile. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? Like, because
it's
you're
the best.
happier. You are. Jiu-jitsu definitely saves you.
It's so I started training when my business was almost going out, and I wake up in the mornings. I'm like thinking to myself, I'm a failure. This thing's going under. I'm fucked. Like I'm gonna have to move my family with my parents, my in-laws, and then after rolling for an hour, it's 7 a.m. I'm like, I'm good to go, man. Let's go. And like my head was cleared out, all negativity was out, and I was clear-headed to go. So
It gives you a clean slate for the rest of the day.
all day.
It makes you feel like you did something.
It is amazing how to adjust the walls closing in, because it is doing, like, at this point in my life, it's doing that for me. Like, you feel the walls closing in, and then you train, and it's like, oh, wait, these walls are, you know what I mean? They're
Yeah, I
not as
feel it.
close to me as I thought they were.
I feel it now. I mean, we're opening up 16, 18 locations. We got a lot going on. But when I go on the mats and I'm not thinking and I'm just flowing,
Yeah.
and then suddenly an hour is gone and you're like, I'm good to go, man. Thank God. And you're so grateful for that workout. And it's a different workout, obviously. You're just that oxytocin. You're not getting, I mean, lift weights, sure, but like when you're doing physical contact, as you both know better than me, like there's something about that. Like, all right, cool. It feels good.
Yeah, it's just a good reassurance for yourself that you know how to defend yourself, you know how to protect yourself and others. And I think it definitely takes the edge off. I know I'm always on edge, like in the sense that I'm always ready to fight type deal. But, you know, I do like knowing that I don't have to really like be threatened by people when I walk out, you know, other than unless they have a weapon on them, which, you know.
Do people ever come up to you and just like fuck with you?
Not really, which I'm thankful for because I don't think I would react too well. Like if somebody walked
No,
up and called
and he
me,
does. No, you do react very, like, you actually make me like, he's told me stories of stuff people have done to him, and I'm like, and then you punched him, and he's like, no, and then he's like continuing to tell me like they're doing more stuff, disrespectful stuff to him, and I'm like, and then you slapped him, and he's like,
well,
no, didn't slap him."
I have a value now, you know, something I didn't, I guess feel I always felt I had value, but I guess I didn't understand the impact that I had and doing what I'm doing just because this is what I love to do. But, you know, now when you got fucking people that are going to try you, it's like, do I want to try and lose what I have for some fucking guy who's already angry at his life?
And by the way, I remember telling this before you got big. Like, the bigger you get, the more people are going to come at you. I remember, like, when everyone was like, be like Joe Pfeiffer became a thing. And, like, everyone was like, fuck this guy. And I remember looking at comments and just like, what is Joe thinking right now? And, you know, thankfully, you're just like, doesn't matter. Like, I'm just going to keep winning. Yeah. So that was pretty cool. Yeah.
And my thing is, as long as you don't touch me, we're good. You fucking touch me, then it's different. And then I'm going to try and kill you. Don't touch me. So if you meet me, you could say things to me. Don't fucking touch me.
That's exactly right. Oh, it'd be crazy.
So you're a purple belt now.
I'm a purple belt, yes.
Are you have any stripes?
No stripes. Purple belt, training.
What's your move? Like, what's the
My
Justin
move-
technique that you're gonna catch somebody with?
That's a good question. I've been playing with some leg locks recently and having some
Yeah.
fun with that, which is really cool. Do you know Steve Diaz?
Yeah.
So Steve, I go to his 7 a.m. class is awesome. So Steve's like big into that, doing some fun leg lace shit.
Dude, leg locks are like I can be a blue belt and beat a black belt technique. So like that was like fascinated me in the very
Dude,
beginning.
that's the only way I submitted a black belt.
Yeah.
I literally got this like sneaky. I did it was reverse K2 mount, and then I like facing his legs, grabbed the leg, went back, got the leg lock, and the guy's like very nice. And then for 5 minutes, just got my fucking ass kicked.
Yeah.
It's like okay, but honestly, it's right now I'm just trying to flow. Like I'm really just trying to like learn more of the dominance. Like if I'm on mount, if I'm on side control, just keep it and kind of like ride it for a little bit instead of trying a million different things like when I was a blue belt. Honestly, just taking it slow, to be honest with you. It's just like I said, like it's a process. I mean, jiu-jitsu, I talk to Phil about this all the time. It's like life, right? It takes 9 steps to get the submission. And if you rush one of those submissions, you're not going to get it. So kind of like spending my purple belt years going a little bit slower right now is what I'm trying to do.
I think that's very underrated. Going slow. Going slow is the key to all movement and placement and positioning. And I think a lot of people try to rush it, where they try to drill super hard so they can feel like they're working hard, but it's like, are you working smart? And I think that's why there's a lot of holes in people's jiu-jitsu games these days, is because they want to learn everything so fast, and then they skip a bunch of steps.
They want to learn everything, and you see cool stuff online. So you're like, oh, I got to do that. Like, I'm a big believer of like the basics in life, like foundational stuff. Like I trained with Higan Machado in LA once. It was really cool. Like just like an hour of my life with like a legend, and it was just he just showed me basic stuff. I'm like, got it, thanks. Like, cool, that's all I need to know. But to kind of give some more detail to your question, I'm like a lanky dude, like a Gumby.
You do have long legs, like
Yeah.
you are. Yeah.
So I'm like a lanky, skinny leg guy. I love a good triangle. That's always really fun to get. Good armbar, classic. Like just get it. I've been playing with some darts because I have the lanky arms, so kind of like some chokes. Been playing with that, but yeah.
I feel like I've been, for my own kick, I feel like I've been mother's milk a lot, and head and arm, and a lot of guillotines. I've been hitting a lot of high elbow guillotines, but I would say probably mother's milk right now and head and arm are
What's your highest percentage submission?
probably my head and arm. Yeah, my head and arm. It's nasty. If I get it on, like
It's
there's
the
not many
wrestler
people-
background in him though. Like he likes
Top
Joey
pressure.
likes submissions where he's pinning you too. Like he likes I'm the opposite. Like I like getting the ones like the sneakier submissions on you where you think you're in a good spot. Joey's like, no, you know you hate this right now.
Yeah, I feel like it's also because of my style for MMA. I used to be like a big triangle guy. I used to actually really be a huge leg locker as a child. Yeah, huge. And shout out Lex Friedman that one time. You know?
You should tell that story.
Yeah. I wonder if he remembers. But yeah, no, I've transferred my style over, I think, to match like being top control, top position, and the mount and side mount and things like that. So, you know, I'm comfortable going for a mounted guillotine, you know, a head and arm choke, a smother choke, a Kimura if I can get it. I feel like those are a little harder to get on MMA, but yeah, I mean, I think a lot of my submissions.
That arm's out there. It's a good feeling.
Yeah, and I want to be in that position. You know, if I don't get it, I can start hitting you type deal. So, yeah, being on my back, I can't really throw up triangles and arm bars.
So that's the thing. Like blue belt was on my back a lot, and I realized like if I'm in a real life fight, like this is stupid. So I need to like start doing more offense, which has been more of my game lately.
I mean,
But
imagine being in your back on a street fight and getting
that's
hit
what I'm saying.
with your head on the
You're
concrete.
done. It's
nah.
like, yeah. I mean, it's great. Like I can get a triangle, but like I'm gonna get my fucking head smashed back. And it's not
Better
gonna be
grab
good.
that leg and hook it.
Exactly right. So
Are you wrestling more then?
I'm trying to wrestle more. Actually, I've been trying to do more takedowns. So I've been working with Steve on that.
Yeah.
Basic stuff, fireman carries, like whatever. I have no takedown game, so I'm trying.
Come
to
on a
get that up.
Thursday night and train with me. It is fun.
I would love to. That'd
How
be
far
amazing.
is Washington Township for you?
I live in Lower Marion. It doesn't matter. I'm in Jersey all the time.
Yeah.
Easy. I would definitely train with you guys.
Yeah.
It'd be
Yeah,
great.
we do 6:30 at Thursday.
That's perfect time for me.
Yeah.
All right, then let's set it up.
Yeah, let's do it.
Because my takedown game is a 2 out of 10. It needs a lot of work. Yeah.
I can show you some stuff.
I'm sure you will.
Yeah. No, I for me at least with training with Joey, I've like bad knees now. Like I definitely have a lot of
I can't believe
problems.
you're 40.
Yeah.
You look better than that. In other words,
Thank
like you
you.
look like you're in your mid 30s. I had no idea.
Yeah, I'm turning 40 this year.
I'm only
so
3 years older than you.
Yeah.
Oh, good man.
Yeah, old head is aging well.
Yeah.
You are.
No, and it is definitely like you know what's interesting to me? It's this. It's the fact that like, you know, I helped Joey obviously like teaching him and everything, and then watching him grow, and I'm like, I'm at that cusp where I'm still not too old, right? But I'm definitely not that young anymore too. But I'm like, dude, I get to train with the best fighters in the world now. So it's and it's doing something to my confidence, and that definitely like people are like, you get the itch again, and it's like now I kind of am getting the itch again because, you know, training with Joe, it's like, dude, I'm not gonna be fighting Joe Pyfer. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you're not gonna be. He's on a whole nother level now, yeah. And it's making me want to do it again, but also at the same time too, it's to be a part of like where it started, where the journey's going. Like I know where this story ends at too. You know what I mean? And I've always believed in it. But when you're in the movie and you're like, wow, it's actually really happening. Like standing in the corner in the UFC and like, holy shit, Joey just smoked somebody, and like here we are.
Dude, when I watch this guy on TV, I'm so proud. It's just like, whoa, like it blows my mind.
And dude, being a professional fight, people are like, you're a professional fighter. Well, why do you need to carry a gun? It's like, because I'm a professional fighter and I
Yeah.
understand what can happen to you if somebody
Because you're a professional fighter.
Wants to
Everyone's
really hurt you. You know what I mean?
Everyone wants to like test you, right? Like in your world, for sure.
Well, how many people
Yeah.
are you seeing walk away from a fist fight anymore? It's like maybe the fist fight happens out in front of a bar, but then you see the guy reach for a gun because he got his ass whooped. Like I'm
exactly
not.
right.
I'm good with that, man. I don't want to die, and this is why. I remember I also sold to you in my pitch, you could say, is like you won't see me out drunk at a bar. You won't see
Which is
me
true.
out stumbling
Yeah.
on the freaking sidewalk. Like I'm
Yeah.
just.
Very serious.
I also don't want to. That's not how I want to die.
And then when I started coaching Joey, that was rule number one.
Yeah.
It was like never disgrace yourself. Never put yourself in a situation where you can totally embarrass everything.
And everyone I
Yeah, dude,
represent.
the eyes of the world are on you. I mean, the fact you're on Rogan, like, that was awesome. It's just like, oh shit, he's on Rogan? Like, what?
Yeah.
Like, the world is watching, right?
It was definitely a cool. I will say this: I was sick, and I don't want to say I didn't appreciate it, but I didn't value it as much as I feel like I would have. It was a cool experience. Though.
Yeah.
It's definitely like a bucket list cross off. Like I watched Joe Rogan for years, but it definitely. I don't know. I feel like I get more out of these conversations than a guy that I don't know. Even though you watch him and you're like, oh, he's cool. He's very cool, very nice guy. It's just not the same. It's just.
Yeah, well, I mean, you were on Rogan. I mean,
Yeah.
the fact that you made it to that show, which is, I guess, the most popular podcast out there.
Yeah.
And I'm a fan, and it was just like, oh my God, Joe, like,
Yeah.
Joe's on Joe. Like, what is this?
Yeah,
It's
low
pretty cool.
viewership is 12 million people. It's like
Yeah, right. You 12 million people watch that, dude. It's
Yeah.
amazing.
I'll tell you what I'm a fan of show-wise, aside from Joe Rogan, is the Sean Ryan show.
Sean Ryan show?
Love it.
He's the
Love
former Navy SEAL, right?
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
I've actually seen his stuff on YouTube.
He
yeah.
interviews. He has such great interviews. and
Yeah,
I love
I gotta-
other
I
people.
gotta
I
listen
love
more.
military, and I love like hearing all that. I know it's brutal to talk about sometimes, but I love hearing about that kind of stuff.
Do you listen to Jocko?
Not really. He's not really. I don't know.
it's the sound of his voice.
I think that's what it is.
Yeah.
That's what I was gonna say. It's like something about the way he talks. It's just not like I'm not engaged in.
Now,
it.
yeah, his voice engages me. I love Jocko. Maybe I'm just
Yeah.
older. Like the Jocko, like I love that guy. Like he's a fucking no fucking
He's a
bullshit
tank.
human being, dude. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's good. And I'm a history nerd, so a lot of his stuff's like history book stuff.
Yeah.
So I like it. Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
I
cool.
like Sean Ryan. Nicholas Irving's a really good
know
episode. He's the first Black American sniper with like 33
really?
confirmed kills or whatnot. But he talks about some crazy stuff.
Nicholas Irving?
Yeah,
I'll check that out.
Really
yeah.
good. Yeah, really good.
Oh, yeah.
I bought his book too. It's really good episode. But yeah, big fan of that show too.
Hell
so.
yeah, that's awesome.
So you do jiu-jitsu.
Yeah.
I would say you would consider that your hobby.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I think about it a lot. So yeah.
What does Justin do in his free time? Aside from family, aside from honeygrow,
Yeah.
aside from jiu-jitsu, is there any other passions, loves,
Yeah, I mean,
goals? Are you a traveler?
I love to travel, but haven't been traveling a lot lately. I enjoy shooting for sure. There's a good place out in the burbs, so that's always fun.
Outdoor?
Outdoor and indoor, yeah, both. Actually, I've been training with a dude, Eric Faust, who's a 4th degree black belt. He's out in Reading, Pennsylvania. He has like this outside junkyard place, and I'm just learning like cool stuff. I'm thinking about like competing in it down the road, which is
Wow.
kind of cool. He's a monster. He's doing rifles, pistols, all like it's pretty cool.
So he runs like a training course?
Yeah, he teaches like SWAT and cops.
Oh, nice.
He's developing a school that's gonna do that. So.
we got to get out there.
Oh, you would love it, man.
Have you ever heard of a company called 221B Tactical?
I don't think so.
They make like the armored vests, the gloves. They make like the bulletproof helmets and
No,
things
check
like
it
that
out.
for like law enforcement. Well, the guy's name's Suresh, and I think I had a good conversation with him, and we're doing a sponsorship for this fight
Oh, yeah.
too. Have to get you some of that gear.
That would be amazing. I would love to get you guys out to Reading and just shoot. It's like literally a junkyard with like cars and stuff. Just shoot at it. But Eric's really good. He's timing you. You ever watch? What the hell's the guy's name? You would know it. It's a dude he trained like John Wick. Like he's a former Navy SEAL. He also has a podcast, I think. I forget his name. He has a gun too. Yeah, I'll get you the name, but same thing. Like, you know, you go to his courses, they're timing you, you go around with a shotgun. Like, you could do all that stuff. It's pretty neat.
I won't be getting on horses, but I'll do it.
There's no horses there. I would ride. That'd be kind of cool. But
Well, I rode horses, and I've been bucked off. That horse better be desensitized to the sound of gunshots.
you ever watch Yellowstone?
So no, I haven't. I've watched like bits
Great
and
show.
pieces here,
Yeah,
but
great
I'm
show.
not. I couldn't get into it.
Really?
I don't like the blonde.
Oh, the blonde woman?
I don't like. Yeah, I don't
She's
know.
awesome.
I know, but it's just like not realistic to me. I'm like, no chick is coming in my face talking about beating my ass or
Dude,
something like
she's
that.
you should watch. She's a great character. You
Yeah,
should watch it.
yeah.
It's good.
I'll
I
try
love that
it.
show. Kevin Costner's awesome. And
Yeah,
then
I heard he's not going to be in it anymore.
well, the show ended, and that is correct.
So is it a cliffhanger ending, or did
Do
they
you want me to
finish
give it
it?
away? Should
I mean, I didn't watch it.
all right. Well, sorry
Did
for
they?
all the
So did they?
spoiler
Wait.
alert.
So
Yeah,
my
spoiler alert.
my question though is,
Yeah.
did they actually cap it off properly, or did he just stop and it's done?
I think so halfway through the season, he gets killed. And then the rest of the season is they're trying to figure out what to do with the ranch. It's like a 700,000 acre ranch or something. And I think considering the circumstances, they did a pretty good job. Was it as fulfilling if Kevin Costner was still there? No, but it was good. It was good. 1883 is better though. With,
That's what I'm hearing. The prequel.
Dude, that show is awesome.
Are you a Game of Thrones guy?
I was when it was on. Yeah, I haven't watched it in years though.
Have you watched House of Dragons?
Have not watched House of Dragons.
You gotta watch House of Dragons.
I can't. You know, man.
It has so many more dragons. It is amazing.
I can't like. Game of Thrones was great. I can't get into the House of Dragons thing.
It's because you have to learn all the new characters. I couldn't either,
it's
and I
too
didn't.
much.
And when you're so attached to the originals, it's hard to get into the new one. But once they start battling, you gotta
cool.
watch it. Yeah,
It's too much, man. You know what a good show? Actually, this might make you anxious. It's like me watching restaurant shows. Like I just get anxious. Do you know the show Kingdom?
is that an MMA?
Yes.
I didn't like it.
Did you watch it?
Yeah, it was corny. I watched a couple shows. And then I
Yeah,
was
because
like,
you live the life, and I'm sure it was like dramatized and whatnot.
yeah, it was very dramatic.
I like that show because I'm not living that life. But I also can't watch anything on the Food Network, like these food competition things. Like I literally gonna have a panic attack. Fucking people cooking and tickets coming up. It's too much for me.
Yeah, I couldn't do that.
Best 3 shows ever for you. What are they?
Food shows?
No, like anything.
Shows?
Yeah.
Game of Thrones was number one for me.
Okay.
House of Dragons is good. I'll say this: Game of Thrones number one, number two, Spartacus. Loved it.
Never watched that.
Spartacus is basically a guy that was a slave. He gets captured and betrayed by the Roman army.
Yeah.
He's enslaved. So through slavery, he winds up overthrowing his house, rounds up all the slaves, frees all the slaves, and then it's an army of slaves, and they try to overthrow Rome.
Crazy story. Yeah.
Sick ass show. A lot of perversion in it, obviously, back in those times, like when they portray that. But it gets very deep, and you get very emotionally attached. And I won't spoil the ending, but it's amazing.
Well, you know it's a real life story, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so I know what happens.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Well, yeah. So, I'm not gonna spoil it. But there is a character named Crixus that I named my dog after because I always liked the way
I
he
don't know
represented and how like barbaric.
I don't know if
he
you ever
was.
seen Titanic. I don't want to ruin the ending
Yeah.
for you.
All right. Well, you didn't see the show, dude.
Fucking boat crash into an iceberg.
Yeah.
Oh shit.
Well, you never know. Sometimes it's fictional, a lot of it, so you don't know. But yeah, no, it's a great show. You should definitely watch it.
What about you? What are your 3 best?
I'd say Narcos. Like that was my
Narcos is good.
working in Kensington too. I am fascinated with the history of drug trafficking.
Yeah.
Like I'm super into that genre. I really enjoyed that. Gosh, number 2. Did you watch Outer Range?
No.
It was based in Wyoming, but it was like a borderline sci-fi too, like drama. There was like time travel in it, which I thought was really cool.
I love time travel stuff. Yeah.
You got to watch it. And Josh Brolin,
I love him. Yeah.
dude, I love him. I've
Yeah.
loved him since the Goonies.
Amazing.
Yeah. And number 3, I feel like people want me to say Sopranos. You know what I mean? Or that should always be on there.
You don't think Sopranos should be on there? Because that's one of my top 3.
Yeah. Dude, I'm not big into the mob genre. I'm not.
I'm not either.
I don't really dig the mob genre.
Growing up in Long Island in the 90s,
Yeah,
like that show
that's
that show hits home. Like it's that show is I
Yeah.
love it. The Wire, I don't know if you guys watched that.
Yeah.
The Wire is phenomenal. I mean, that's also, related to drug trade stuff. I feel like you'd like that show. And then Breaking Bad also.
Breaking
never got
Bad
into
was
that
good. I
either.
watched all of it.
That
It was
show
good.
might
I
be
will
the
say
one.
this: I thought it was an amazing show, but I couldn't watch it twice.
Oh, that's fair. It's a lot. Yeah, that's fair. Sopranos, if it's on, I automatically watch it. Same thing with The Wire. So good.
Big Family Guy too.
It's that man right there is Family
Yeah.
Guy.
Dude, that is
Family
amazing.
Guy.
Mason has sit here for an hour and has been
Yeah,
very
we keep
well
checking the
behaved.
clock because we gotta.
No, yeah,
we
you
gotta
wanna
get
go?
going soon.
Yeah.
Doing good, bud.
Mason, that's amazing, man.
Yeah, so we'll wrap it up. Obviously, honeygrow super success.
Thank you.
Jiu-Jitsu. You're
Trying.
not living the average life.
Neither
You've
are you, my
defied the
friend.
odds of your own of your own quest here, and now
Neither are you guys.
cars. Forgot to talk about cars.
Ooh, fun
what are
topic.
we driving today? Or
All
do you
right.
still have an M4?
I have an M5. I
M5.
had the M3 when I saw you.
Yes.
Which, no,
It's too small.
It was too small to stick. It was so fun. Went to the M5 and very happy with it. Just driving everywhere, and that's kind of it. So that's it. I'm having a good time with it. But you were driving some cool cars in Vegas, man. What are you driving now?
So I have a Raptor Bronco.
Right.
It's a 22. It's a Raptor Bronco. I
Yeah.
got a bunch of custom shit done to it. I love it.
Yeah.
I love it. It's great for my dog.
Oh, yeah.
And taking the top off in summertime. I haven't been able to enjoy it that much, to be honest, because a chick slammed into the back of it. Haven't had it for 2 months.
Really?
Literally didn't cause any exterior damage at all, but it
my
threw
God.
off one of the modules for my
I feel like
my
it always
suspension.
shit always happens to you.
Bro, there's so many computers and modules and things like that. So Ford's been having a hard time figuring it out. It's definitely not something severe. It's very stupid. It's just they can't fucking find it. But
You
so
sold your bike, right?
I've got rid of my
Yeah,
bike.
can
I
you
haven't
use
had a
it?
motorcycle for almost 2 years.
Thank
now.
you.
Yeah.
Keep it that way,
Yeah,
Joe.
dude, you're gonna.
There was a
live
certain
Until you
someone.
retire.
There was a certain someone in my life kept putting it in my head I was gonna die, and she kind of freaked me out with that. So I was just like, yeah, I'm done.
Good she did that, yeah.
But now I'm into dirt biking. Love dirt biking.
So how much of your time is spent like navigating Joe from like killing himself on this shit, like
And,
protecting him from himself with these events, like this stuff, like
It's so I remember like Joey couldn't barely had enough money for food, and then he got a motorcycle, and I remember yelling at him, and then at that point I realized I can't I let you be who you are, and
Yeah.
I basically always have. I just try to guide him in the you know what I mean. So
He would always give me his concern, but would never be like, "What the fuck are you doing?"
yeah, because the more you push someone, the more they push back. Yeah.
I'll wrap up and say this. You know, I'm very proud of you because when we
Thank
first
you.
met, I vibed you. I'm like, all right, this guy is he's the real fucking deal. And one of my favorite moments was that fight in AC 2021, and that was your comeback fight. And you gave like a speech. I remember I was like in tears. You were
said,
I saw
"This
you
ain't
before the fight.
over."
Like this ain't. I was just like I was like, oh my god, I was like electric in the room. You made it to the UFC, mostly wins. You're gonna have some losses along the way, man, but you're killing it, and I'm proud of you. And you're gonna fuck shit up in Mexico, and I can't wait to watch that. I can't wait to text you after the fight.
Yes, sir.
And it's gonna be awesome, man. So, and kudos to you for getting back and fighting and everything you're doing with Joe. And
He'll be out there with me.
I know,
I'm the only one who can be out there for the full 2 weeks.
It's
so.
crazy. I mean, I doing what you're doing now is astounding to me. It's very impressive.
Thank you, man.
Keep doing what you're doing.
Yeah, let's go, brother. Mexico, 29th. 2 weeks out in that freaking place.
Be careful.
Hopefully we don't get killed.
Stay in your hotel and train.
Yeah.
That's all I would do.
Yeah.
Stay and then win and come home.
Yep, that's all I'm there for. Do the job, get out.
Yep.
So,
Stay focused.
yeah.
I'm more afraid of the airplane falling apart than I am about the Mexican cartels, though. But let's
Why?
get it. Because all the airplanes are falling out of the sky.
I've been flying nonstop.
Yeah, there's been
It's fine.
87 crashes from year to date
I've
right
flown
now.
5 times, 6 times since then. You're okay.
All right,
Oh my
good.
God, you're fine.
All right, let's get a
Okay.
picture.
Fair enough.
Thanks, gents.